Thanks for spending a few minutes with us once again to get an update of what's happening in the city of New Hope. Joining us with all the information is the mayor, Kathi Hemken. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
I'm fine, Dave. I just had to share that picture behind me. We had the most beautiful rainbow after that last rain.
And that is right over the top of the New Hope Golf Course, and you see St.
It-
Therese in the background, correct?
yep, that's it.
What a beautiful image. All right, a lot to touch on today in the city, a busy time of the year. Let's begin with a planning commission meeting coming up, and they have a special topic that we've been mentioning a few times. Tell us a little bit more about this upcoming meeting.
Well, that's on May 7th at 7 o'clock, and they can either come to City Hall and watch the meeting, or they can watch it, stream it online, or they can go to the website and watch it. But it's going to be interesting because they're going to talk about text amendments to like boarded homes, outdoor storage for churches, the definition of fences and trade schools, home daycares, parking lot permits, just a lot of little text amendments that I think people might be interested in. So
Yeah,
May 7th at 7 o'clock.
very good. A neat city government education if you go to that meeting. Let's head over to scattered site housing, talk about a couple of the properties we've been following. The first is 3611 Louisiana. We've got a photo here. What's happening now?
Well, they closed on that on the 26th of April. So that house is sold. There's a few little details they have to finish up on the house before the people move in, but it's been sold and it's just beautiful.
Let's hop over to the corner of 42nd and Boone, the two houses there. There's some progress, as you can see, coming along there. What's happening?
Well, they're framing the second one up, and that's almost done. And once it gets framed up, it looks like it's a completed house, except the inside. So it'll look like it's completed, but then they go inside and start putting in the cabinets and the countertops and the toilets and things like that. So that one, I don't think they have a buyer for yet. I'm not sure.
Okay, progress being made. 4220 Nevada. This is one that is new to our discussion, and it requires a little background. Tell us a little bit about the history of this property and what's going on.
Well, it's an older home, and so we checked with them to see if they wanted to sell, and they did. And then we checked with Restoring Historic Homes, and to restore that house, the amount of money to have to put into that, and then what the resale value would be, it just didn't make sense to do that. So if in fact we do acquire that house, we're looking at tearing it down. Now that house sits on a lot that's 130 by 130. So that's really a big lot. We've split a lot like that just north of there and built two houses on it. So if we tore that down, that's probably what we would do is split this lot and then sell those two lots to a builder. So more to come on that.
All right, we'll keep people up to date. Final property to touch on is 5692 Boone Place, and a lot of activity at that corner.
That's the one just north on Boone Avenue, just north of Bass Lake Road. They're starting to frame that one in. They moved the curb cut onto Boone Place, so it'd be easier to get in and out. One of the things I want to tell people about this scattered site, the reason we're doing that is we have a lot of homes that were built in the 50s and early 60s, and maybe they weren't taken care of, maybe they were poorly built, but they really need care. And so when they come to us and want to sell, we're taking those homes, tearing them down, and just rebuilding them just to upgrade our housing stock. So we're not taking away low-income housing. We're just taking away houses that really need to come down.
We are recording this on April 29th, and coming up in just a couple of days of this recording is the next business networking group, and it is at a Crystal location that people may have known in the past as a vision clinic, but now it's something new. Tell us about this upcoming meeting.
It's May 1st at 2 o'clock, open to the public. It's a business networking meeting with Crystal and New Hope, and it's now called Herself Health. And you'll get a little tour of the clinic. It's just beautiful. Herself Health is a health care for women over 65. We expect a lot of turnout there. So if you're going to come, just come being ready to see the clinic and see what's there. It's really gorgeous.
Yeah, sounds very interesting. Let's keep on the business beat here. A few new businesses coming to town. Tell us a little more about those.
Some of these always fascinate me. So there's one called Seven Sigma, and these guys are doing printer rollers and CPR mannequins. Now that seems like a strange combination, but there it is. They're gonna have some warehousing there and the office there. The other one is New World Market. That's on 62nd and Winnetka. And it's just like a little small market that's needed on the north end of town.
All right, welcome to the new businesses. Let's hop to the police department, talk about a lot happening here, a lot of activity with meetings and connecting with the community. And first note is the SRO officers are back at Cooper High School. Tell us about this.
They are. Those are the school resource officers. And if you remember, they've been out of the schools for quite a while. Well, they're back at the schools. They'll be there till the school gets out now. The officers are thrilled to be back, and the students are happy to have them back too. So we're really happy that they're here. The rest of the stuff I'm going to talk about is our police department is out in the community a lot, and they're trying to get to everything they can. Well, our chief, no, not our chief, one of our police officers participated in an annual charity basketball tournament with police officers from around the metro. And then that same officer and our chief and a couple other people in the police department went to Brooklyn Park to play in their basketball charity tournament. The chief and a couple of the others went to Cooper for what they call the MAC, the Multicultural, I gotta get the name, Advisory Committee. So they meet with those kids on a regular basis. Our police captain went to a Towards Zero Death meeting in Crystal. And finally, Officer Callio went to North Park Plaza to talk about frauds and scams. So the police officers are out and about. If you would like them to come to you, an apartment complex or maybe a neighborhood meeting, just give them a call. As soon as the parks open up, they'll be with their little wagon going out making hot dogs for kids in the park. But right now they're just visiting nursing homes, apartment complexes, just about anywhere where they can meet people and just see what the police department does.
Fantastic to see all the ways that they engage. Let's now head over to Public Works. This is a busy staff at this time of the year as well. And believe it or not, we're still talking a little bit about snow plows, but in a fun way. Tell us what's happening with some naming of plows.
Well, you have until the 1st of May, which is coming quickly, to name the snowplow. Now, you can go onto the website that's on your screen. If for no other reason, if you don't want to vote, just to look at the names, they're really cute. So there's about 15 of them. You go onto that website, you can vote for one of them. They'll actually pick the top 2 vote getters, and those will be the names that are going on the snowplows. Speaking of snowplows, we sent a couple of our maintenance work or our operators to a snowplow operator training class. And then we sent 4 of our maintenance workers to I gotta get this right, a loss control workshop. In the meantime, they're collecting water samples for the Minnesota Department of Health. They started to do some street sweeping. We hire a company to do the whole city, but in advance of that, we go out and street sweep some of the busier streets to get ahead of that a little bit. So they did a sump pump and drain tile connection inspection. I have no idea what that is. None idea at all.
You name it, they do it all.
It's too early to mow. And so they're doing all this other stuff now to kind of get ready, because once they start the mowing season, they're pretty busy.
I can imagine they are. All right, let's hop ahead and talk about some of the road projects that are going on this year. The big one is the infrastructure improvement project, and there's lots of streets involved. Give us the laundry list, Mayor.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you, they're doing a mill and overlay. So they will mill and save what they take off of the blacktop. Then they'll do some under the surface work to just make sure the street's good. And then they'll put their final coat back on. So that's the process. They're hoping to be done by June. Where they're going to be is 36th Avenue between Highway 169 and Winnetka. Various residential streets in the J.C. Park area, Xylon and 56th Avenue is just south of Bath Lake Road. So you should have gotten something in the mail that tells you that they're going to be doing your road. You'll be able to drive on these roads, but not for like a couple of hours while they're actually doing that work. So they want to have that all done by the end of June. You'll just see them out doing that pretty quick here.
All right, be careful as you drive around those orange cones. Let's look at this next photo here of the Public Works facility, phase 2. The work is coming along. What's next for this project?
Well, they think they're gonna be able to start putting in the walls sometime in the next couple of weeks. They're looking to be done with this by the end of the year. This is a really big project for Public Works. If you remember right, we promised we would not bond, which actually means borrow money, after we built the pool and the city hall. And so this money is coming from money that we've saved and from various departments, because all of our departments use the Public Works Department as their central garage. They put money into this a pot, if you will. So we're using that money to do this rebuilding of the Public Works facility.
All right, let's hop out to 169. A few things happening here to make note of. Number one is the noise wall up by Bass Lake Road. That seems to be about complete, correct?
It does. That's the noise wall that's from, well, up to from Bass Lake Road to 62nd off of 169. So that's done, but they've got some restoration to do and some planting, and that's got to take a little time. I don't think they'll close that down again to do that. I did notice that they closed that ramp when they took the bridge over 63rd down. And so you'll see some short-term closures, but not long-term ones. But they will fix that, all the grass in that area by the noise wall.
And speaking of 63rd, let's talk a little bit more about that street right there. Not a great one to drive around, especially if you're trying to go east to west right now.
Yes. Well, 63rd, that bridge is down. And that's actually Brooklyn Park into Plymouth, but a lot of our residents use that. So that bridge is not there anymore. You're going to have to come back down and use 49th to get on, Bass Lake Road to get on, or 42nd. But 63rd bridge is gone. They're looking to have that done by the end of June.
All right, and let's hop down to the south then. We've got another bridge that's going to receive some attention still this year as well. Tell us about 36th.
Well, that one's not gone yet, but soon. They told us they're going to wait till school gets out. And so I imagine that's sometime after the 8th of June. And that 36th Avenue bridge will come out. When I tell people they can come to New Hope, but they can't get out, I'm absolutely certain they can.
It could be a little tough.
Keep in mind that 42nd's open, 49th is open, and use one of those to get on if you need that.
Some great advice. All right, let's hop to Park and Rec, and we've got a full list of activities here, as you might imagine. The first one is for those that want to see the dancers dance. We now have an online way to get some tickets because, Mayor, this is very popular.
It is, and those tickets go quick. So you can go onto the website and dance recital ticketing. They've got that in parentheses that I didn't use it. I don't know how to use it, but that's what they told me. If you can't get on or you don't know how, call Aaron at 763-531-5153. Aaron will help you get the tickets. He'll know how to do that and help you do that. So get those tickets. It's really cute. It's going to be the 18th and 19th at Cooper High School.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk about the month of May and people getting out and doing some exercising. We've got the Step to It Challenge, and New Hope would like all residents to get involved.
We would. So you can go online at Step to It, all one word, Step to It, and it starts actually the 1st of May. So you can go online and sign up. It's really quick to sign up. You put in some password and you're on. And then start recording your steps. Now, I do know that Step to It is with Hennepin County. They do not share your personal information, by the way. So you're not going to get 10,000 ads just because you sign up for this. But it's kind of fun to watch. And what happens as the month goes on, you find yourself walking more, doing more, getting out more. So this goes from the 1st until the 28th of May, and you'll start recording on the 1st of May.
All right, and here's a good way to get some early activity. On May 2nd, it's time for the bike rodeo. So parents, get out there, get some steps in, and help your kids learn a little bit more about bike safety. And this event moves around a little bit this year in Robbinsdale, Mayor.
It is. So this is a collaboration between Crystal, Robbinsdale, New Hope, and Golden Valley. And the 4 cities put this on every year. It's free to the kids. Bring your bikes. They have helmets for the kids and show them how to use them. They have a little obstacle course for them, show them about stopping at railroad crossings. So this year it's at Lakeview Park in Robbinsdale, and it's 6 to 8 o'clock. I don't know what happens if it rains.
We've
just never had it rain out before, but I'm
Let's
sure
hope it
that's
doesn't.
something, let's hope it doesn't. We don't have to talk about it.
That's right. The next item we want to touch on is those that are out there playing on some of the fields in the world of softball. We've got some fields going, but another field that's holding on just a little bit. Tell us about the softball players and baseball players.
So this week, the men's and women's softball tournaments, or not tournaments, leagues have started. However, a lot of times they'll play at lighted field. Well, they're not going to open lighted field up until the 28th of May because they really want that grass to get a chance to grow before they open it up to the game. So the teams that were scheduled for lighted field have been notified. They know they're going to be playing someplace else. Just keep in mind that that's why they're not opening it, because they want that grass to grow.
All right, let's talk trees for just a minute in the city. A lot has been happening because of the emerald ash borer, but you've got a couple neat things happening here that are getting some trees back in the city. What's going on?
Well, Hennepin County has this program called, I gotta get the name right, Find Your Five, Paso El Paso. And we've gotten some grant money from them. And with that grant money, we bought 18 trees that we're going to be planting this week. So they'll pick up the trees. They've already purchased them. They'll go pick them up and they'll be planted in the parks sometime this week. Now, speaking of tree planting, so the people who had trees taken off their boulevards, the ash trees taken off their boulevards, and they signed up for a tree replacement. Those those lists are going out this week. So they'll then, after that, they'll get the trees and you'll probably see them being planted probably the end of May, first part of June.
All right, something else that's sprouting up because of the wet weather are the weeds are starting to come here, but the city has a way to watch the weeds, Mayor, and you're somewhat involved in this, right? What's happening with weeds?
I think this is the silliest thing I've ever heard. All mayors in Minnesota are officially the weed inspectors. However, I have an assistant weed inspector who is the forester, and he just went to the annual local weed inspectors meeting. So thank you for doing that for me. They are able to recognize weeds, and I'm just telling people that if you have noxious weeds growing in your yard or your garden, you really need to get those out of there because they spread very, very easily.
All right, more from Park and Rec still here, and one is wrapping up something from winter. We had people trying to catch a time when there was snow on the ground to make something out of it, and they did it, and you honored them recently.
We did. This was the snowman contest. So until that last snowfall, we only had one entry, and thank goodness the snow fell. Then we got a lot of entries. Well, so we had a first, second, and third place winners that we were going to give them their awards on last Monday. Now, the kids that were in first and second were sick, so they couldn't come to the meeting, but the third place winner was there, and they got their award. With the other awards will be sent to the kids. But really, you can go online and see the snowman contest and how cute they were, considering we didn't have a lot of snow and it was just that last little dump that we got, thank goodness.
Yeah, it was a tough year for that. Congratulations to the winners. All right, let's talk about the golf course. Again, the picture behind the mayor here. What's happening at the golf course? And you recommend calling for a tee time.
Well, the golf course is open. On weekends, it's really, really been busy. So now leagues will start this week. With leagues starting, you're going to have to figure out when there's no league if you're going to just come in and play. So that's why I'm telling people they really need to call or go online and get a tee time that way. They'll get one after the leagues actually start. So if you've noticed at the golf course, there's this trench all around the putting green right by the front door. They're putting in an irrigation system. So that system's in, they've got the dirt in, they'll probably try to get that grass laid Monday, today, if they can, so that it'll be laid so it rains. But anyway, nice. The golf course is open. It's pretty wet right now, but it'll just clear up in the next couple days, I'm sure. And we want to remind people you've had your green thumb out getting some plants ready for the big plant sale. Give us the date, time, so people can get out there and get some great plants. Well, this is going to be the day before Mother's Day, the 11th of May. And these plants are mostly perennials. There'll be about 200 coleus that we're going to have there. They're 2 for $5, which is pretty reasonable. 8 to 1 on that Saturday. Bring a box if you can. Otherwise, we'll have a few. Would prefer cash, no credit cards. You can write a check, but it's really easier if you just have cash.
Mhm.
And all of the money that's raised from this goes right back to the golf course. They use that to buy plants to put in the tee boxes and a tree here or there or a bush that we might need that doesn't come out of the budget.
Fantastic. Great way to get involved. All right, let's quickly go to the ice arena. A lot of activity inside here. You wouldn't think so, being as warm as it is, but they're still playing hockey.
Well, there's a lot of groups that rent the ice and they rent it like the whole, I'm gonna read this so I don't miss any of these. The Minnesota All-Star Hockey Team, the Armstrong Cooper Pond Hockey, they're playing the Attitude goaltending camp. I did ask about that. And
Mhm.
they said, well, goaltenders really have to have a different attitude
Okay,
to do what they do. And so not only do they work on skills like skating and stopping of the puck skills, they work on attitude skills.
got it. Makes
Go
sense.
figure. So the other thing, they're renting this out to the Minnesota Hockey High Performance Program. Also, Wyzetta is renting some of the ice, and there's a team called Fury, and they'll be renting some of the ice. So the ice arena is busy. In the meantime, they're still painting the skate rental area.
Let's hop over to the aquatic park, and they are hoping this rain stops as well as they prep for the season because they still have a few things to do around the pool, right?
They do. There's a little bit of caulking that's left. They're hoping if they can get it dry enough, they're going to finish that out. They're doing some outdoor plastering that just touch up that they need, and they'll be doing some turf restoration work. Just a reminder to the people that the pool will open on the 1st and 2nd of June,
Mhm.
just for the weekend, and then they have to close all week because the kids go back to school, and they'll open on Saturday the 8th, and then they'll be open for the season. So if you haven't bought your pool pass, I think you have a few days left to get that pool pass at the discounted rate. But you know your kids are going to use that pool. And
Yes.
to grandparents, if you'd like to just help defray the cost, you can always get a gift certificate for
Mhm.
that child. And that child can use that gift certificate in addition to some money maybe from mom and dad to buy a pool pass.
Great idea. Let's finish up today with a look at human resources, a few staff positions to update you on. Two maintenance workers are going through the process. Where are they right now?
Well, they went through all the pre-employment training and the stuff they needed to do. And so they're going to start on the 6th of May. We'll have two maintenance workers in Public Works. Now, there were two candidates that were certified for the police clerk position.
Mhm.
One of them has gone through all of the pre-employment conditions, and that person will start on the 13th. The other one is still in the process of getting background checks. So more on that to come.
One other note we wanted to pass along, the city is in the process of a compensation study. Mayor, you've talked a little bit about this, but remind us what this is and why this is important for the city to do.
Well, because we have a lot of employees and we want to keep our employees. So we do a compensation study every few years. So staff is working with a company named Flaherty and Hood. And what they do is they take every single job in New Hope in the offices and they rate that job. And then they take those ratings and they look at other cities comparable to us, like Crystal, um, they don't look at Edina, they just look at comparable cities.
Mhm.
And then they try to adjust the rate of pay for these workers. Keeping a worker is really a lot less expensive than getting a new worker. And so we want to make sure that we're paying a reasonable rate at what all of our other cities are paying. So that's what this compensation study is all about. We'll see these final results on the 13th of May,
Okay.
but they've been working on this for a few months.
Very good. Couple final notes to pass along. Recent council meeting, you had a representative from the community honored with the Good Citizenship Award, and this person has certainly done a lot.
He has. He's been a resident for 43 years.
Mhm.
And after we gave him the award, he read a poem thanking the police department. His name, and I'm going to have to look at this, is Tom Wiblichhauser. And so Tom was very excited to get the award. Actually, I had to stop him for a minute so we could actually give him the award. And then he continued to read on with the poem. So anyway, congratulations to Tom. Very well deserved.
Couple final notes to pass along. Something you might notice a little different this summer is those hockey rinks outside that obviously can't be used for hockey right now are used for something else in a very effective way, Mayor. Who goes into these rinks during the summer?
Well, because they have the boards up and it's kind of contained, they're using those for dog parks.
Okay.
By reminding people that they can let their dog run, but they really need to pick up after the dog. And it's a good place for the dog to run. The dog is contained in the hockey rink. So check to make sure that your hockey rink is going to be a dog park. I think we end up having 3 of them in the city.
Very nice opportunity. A few other notes to pass along. The City Academy, we've talked about this coming up. Mayor, remind us what that is, and a deadline is approaching to get involved.
Yes, it's a 7-week academy, and what they're trying to do is just show people what each department in New Hope does, so that when you come in with a concern or you need something like a permit, you'll know which department to go to. Sometimes if you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right department, and then you end up going from place to place, and it's frustrating. So this citizens or this city academy is really a nice thing, and it's free. So people have until the 17th of April to sign up for that. I understand there's still a few spaces open, and I believe it's probably going to start a week or 2 after the 17th.
Very good. So go to newhopemn.gov/City Academy. Find out more about that. Make sure you do that before the middle of May. One other note to pass along, an event that has been going on for quite some time is Relay for Life, and that is coming up very quickly here, Mayor.
It is. That's going to be on the 4th of May. It's from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's at the Cooper Stadium. And what Relay for Life is, the kids from Cooper form teams, and they get teams they get people to sponsor these teams, and it's a fundraiser for them. So it's open to the public from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., and then they lock the gates, and the public is no longer invited, and just the kids are there. And the kids are walking around the track. They get money for each time they walk around the track from their sponsors. So this has been going on since 2010. And in that time, they've raised $561,000 that they've given to research. If you've never been to one of these, it's really a very, very nice thing to watch. The kids are there, and they're very respectful. It's all about cancer survivors and the caregivers and research. So 6 to 11 at the Cooper Stadium.
All right. Hope people can get out and enjoy that. As you see, a lot happening in the city. We'll let the mayor get a breath right now and relax for a minute after all that information. Here is the website. Again, newhopemn.gov. Find out many things that are happening right here in the city there. And we're going to show you a few more things happening just in a second here with our calendar of events. Mayor Hemken, thanks for your time. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Dave. See you then. I hope we have another rainbow.
Let's hope so. Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.